Hello everybody, Jonathan Richandour here, and we're going to continue our little getting started tutorial, but before we do that I'd like to make a correction. It is Longstar that runs the Wikia, not Viking. Viking is a fellow modder. I feel kind of stupid for not even thinking of that, considering, well, I could have just gone to the forums right here on my other screen and just looked at it. So, yeah. My mistake. Anyways. Oh, sorry, just woke up. Should probably have woke up more before I started recording this. Yep, Longstar, there you go. So, we are going to head back to our getting started. Again, show that no mods are currently active. And if I remember, we had just gotten enough money, or very close to affording our new ship, the Wolverine, was it? I remember where it's bought, my Sena. And we were going to just do a few more missions, get the rest of the money so we can also kit it out with nice enhancements and weapons. And we're going to start switching over to railguns soon, I think, because I like railguns. So, first things first, make sure we get a full load of troopers. Okay, yeah, we're getting close to affording it. Also, I want railguns because for this particular build, railguns are definitely the preferred weapon. As I mentioned, the end-game build is to put points into virus and mainframe shutdown, which will allow us to shoot enemies at huge distances from us, and unless they've got equally good range, they won't be able to fight back. Oh boy. Now, it's times like this where I wish I could do an edited thing, but sadly I don't know how to edit video. I could probably learn, but the only software I have is what comes standard with Windows. I don't have the money to buy any video editing software. So, we're just going to have to make do with these here scenes of me traveling through space to get to where we need to go, but sometimes you never know what's going to happen in transit. And I guess I can use this time to talk about the various things in the game. Although right now my mind is suspiciously blank. I don't know. But we're going to do our usual, get to the location of the mission, which again is an assassination, so that we can spawn the ship right on top of us and begin capturing it immediately. I keep forgetting we're only level 1. It is very unusual to be, well, you know, to start with this much money and still not be level 2. If you want to be idyllic about this process, you wouldn't even be doing missions at all. You would just skip them entirely and capture gunships you found as you explored space. But that takes a huge amount of time, and I don't think anyone really wants to sit here and wait through that. Now, there's no point in passing up free loot here, so we may have just passed our mission, but there's a derelict right here we're gonna grab. Wow, I did not realize derelicts had that much health. It's free XP, and once we grab the loot, it's going to be free loot. Gonna fly right back over that waypoint. Okay, this should be a good spot. Nice positive reputation again, so we can stay friendly with everyone around us. Okay, it sounded like he used a repair item, so let's try and keep his health relatively low for now. Start the boarding. And this ship is ours. Of course, just because he's ours doesn't mean he's gonna give up the ghost straight away. Now, I cannot tell what kind of railgun he's using, so we're going to actually garage this one. Because we're going to be switching to railguns, we're going to want to not pay huge sums of money for them, because if you want, like, say, a Ripper 3, that's going to cost you a hefty, like, 2 million credits. But these low-level ships could be carrying those very same weapons. Which means, while we're losing money on selling the ship flat out, we're gaining money in the fact that we don't have to buy the weapon. So to do this, we just transfer our command over. Make sure that we're not going to lose any troopers. Well, actually, I guess at this point, yeah. Not going to repair the hull or anything, we're just going to take a look at what he's using. The Outlaw Railgun. Not what we're looking for. Not even all that valuable in the long run, so transfer command back to our normal ship here, and just sell our friend. And now we're up there even more in the money. Now here's the other thing, when we buy a new ship, it's not going to have 3 out of 3 turrets on the sides or anywhere. It'll have 1 out of however many turrets it can have. And buying turrets can be pricey. By the way, buying turrets is just a matter of this little slidey bar here. And there is an advantage to not having maximum amount of turrets on your ship. If you find your battery energy running low a lot, you might want to just lower the amount of turrets you have. Just notice you don't get any money back for removing turrets. Not sure if intended, but just something to keep note of. Now, the one weapon I highly do not recommend for a ship capturing strategy is plasma weapons. Well, plasma cannons. They deal heavy spike damage. And I mean heavy spike damage. If you look at, say, the plasmatics, they shoot once per second, but the damage they do is insanely high. Which means it's going to be hard to get your target's health low without accidentally destroying them. So I usually go for beam weapons and use those in the beginning, and then switch over to railgun so that I can protect myself better in more dangerous territories. As for the equipment we've got here, we'll probably make use of the borehole torpedo once we get to the Shard sector, well, region, because Shard asteroids are worth a good sum of money. Wow, that guy. Holy crap. I want to know what he's using on me. I think I know what that is, but dang, it hurts. That was a hell of a painful beam. Okay, now you saw his health wasn't quite as low, so we lost a few more troopers getting him down there, but he's still our ship. This will still be ours. Yeah, I think those are razors. Although, that's suspicious that he's targeting like that. That wasn't normal. Let's see if I can find the station and dock at it without making a new waypoint on my map. I hate having more waypoints than necessary. No, so we're just gonna do that and see how... we can see it anyways, okay. So yeah, every weapon does have a distinct look to it, so you can learn to identify the weapons after you've seen them enough or used them enough. Like the Warlock beam weapons have kind of this ghostly look to them. Razors are generally these bright red like we saw there. The Outlaw, which we just saw, looks like a slower firing Ripper. The Barracuda is a railgun that has a kind of purplish tint to it, I want to say. So let's see, am I right? Yep, that's a Razor. Now, unless I'm mistaken, that's better than the beam weapon we're using now. We're gonna check. Now, we're not gonna lose any money doing this. So we can just sell the ship now. That's what the ship is worth baseline. So you can see most of the value of a ship is coming from the weapons that are attached to a ship. Weapons are where the money is. So we're going to take a look. This is a KNS2. That's 22 every 0.2 seconds. Okay, this is a slightly better weapon with the same energy cost. Even has more hit points. And I think they both have a range, and it has an even higher range, so that's definitely going to be our new weapon. So we're just going to sell that, and as you can see, that's worth as much as the gunship we just sold. And now I've got a slightly more powerful beam weapon. And why not get started early and start looking for my favorite enhancement? Was it the Exis? No. I thought it was a Syntha that I liked. Yeah. I have a love of the Syntha 3 enhancement because that gets you extra recharge on your battery, weapon battery, and it increases the weapon range, and I believe the 3 increases those two stats and gives you increased critical chance as well. Now, spending just a little bit of money here to, you know, make ourselves a little stronger here. Now, when it comes to shield enhancements, it really is just what's your preference. You can get like the Vega 3 here, which is a nice increase to your shield recharge rate, which is useful. And there's just no denying it's useful. But I know a lot of people also like the OptiSoft 3, which takes the resistances you see there, puts them up to 30, 20, 30, which just means you're that much harder to hurt. Or if you're more worried about one energy type than another, you can just max out against a specific energy for less money than buying the here Optisoft. Let's see. Or you can go the protector route and just make your shields more powerful. Later on, you'll be getting blueprints, which can offer you even more options. I think I'm going to try the shield recharge this time, because I've never actually done that before, and I'm curious how well it works. Now here, for heavy weapons, I like the Mazio, for the heavy weapon reload speed. But I don't want to get a Mazio 1, I want to wait until I can get at least a 2. I'd love to get a 3. And let's see here, for propulsion, I love speed, so a Condor 3, which is nice and cheap, helps. Now, the power core, you're probably best off going with a Regen 3. Nice 50% increase on your regen, bringing my recharge to 1.5, so when I do start using skills, it will be nice and easy. Sensors you don't really need to put an enhancement on right now, because you don't see that many cloaked enemy ships. Well, so if you're going to, I'd say a Sensomax 3 would work, nice and cheap, and just increases your sensor range. Now the grappler, that's another tricky one. If you're looking to blow your enemy up, you're going to want to get yourself a nice Horus 3. Weaken your enemy's shields, and just destroy them quickly. If you want your grappler to have just greater range, you can go G-Tech 3. Let's see here. The Nymph 3 is a pretty good one too, because it increases range and weakens target shields. And the Arcos 3 is another good one, since I think it just increases those two stats even more. I think there's also one that can increase, oh yeah, we did see that, increase range. I like the increased range ones myself, but again, personal preference, take whichever you like the most. But the increased range just allows you to snag a target further out and use them as you see fit. Now, another good way to make money is to keep a healthy supply of these scavenger swarms. They're relatively cheap once you start making money. Just equip them to whatever slot you want. Now you see, I almost never use these defense fields, so I'm just going to go ahead and go sell those off right now. But using those scavenger swarms will get you more out of your salvaging, such as you can see, I didn't really get much from that last one. I got 3 computers, a lot of ice, and some sulfur. Not really that much. Also, if you wanted to go the trading route, here's the key to that. If you look on the side here, you'll see that there's prices in green, red, and yellow. Yellow means that this is about the average price you'll find for the item anywhere in Gemini. That's the standard price. Green means they're selling it for cheap. So like I could buy combat mechs here cheaper than I could buy them somewhere else. And red means they're quite expensive. Now on the flip side of that is if I were to buy the combat mechs here, you'd see it turn red on this side. That means selling it here would just be a bad idea. So your best option is to buy the combat mechs, say here, and then find some place where the sell will be in green. And that'll show that you've made a pretty hefty profit, and there's some pretty lucrative trade routes if you're willing to take the time to do it. So when buying and selling, green good, red bad. And as you notice, every time I transfer ships, I have to zoom back out and turn the tactical overlay on again. And as it just so happens, when you dock at a station, there is a chance for new missions to appear. And we just happen to get a nice new assassination mission, so let's go get that guy. Now, after this particular video, I'm going to take the time to level my ship up, because I think I've got the basics of earning money out of the way for new players, which is mostly what I want to accomplish here. And I don't want to bore you to tears with the whole 1 to 10 grind, because that will take a while using this method because it's money over XP. If you want XP over money, I recommend destroying the ships, taking their cargo, and selling leftover scraps for the most profit you can get. Also, if you check your map here, you get a nice best buy sell database. It shows you the true average price of items. And if you click on one, and click on, like, we've seen that we can sell ice at these stations, and that shows you how much value we got for that product. This list only tracks things you have seen at stations you have seen, such as we just saw, what were they? Combat mechs, which I want to say are products. So we do this and we find combat mechs. Well, we saw virus suits. You can see that Sigil's a big seller of those. We saw combat mechs, which are in here somewhere. We saw the personal armor, cybernetic implants. Yep, there's the combat mechs, and as you can see, they're right there. And that's just a good way to keep track of where to get the best bang for your buck and earn the most XP through trading. So now we have a greater grapple range, I believe. Yep, 525. That's a plasmatic. I recognize the speed of that weapon anywhere. The color and speed is a dead giveaway. And I'll go and garage this guy so I can show you just what I mean by this thing has outrageously high damage. And I forgot to buy new troopers, so this could be bad. Trying to weaken the hull to ensure that we capture the ship is what this is all about. Okay. That's what happens when you forget to buy new troopers. That was stupid on my part. Now, another thing you can do is after you've captured a ship, you can go and manually loot it. Oh, this guy's got some actual equipment on him, so these MO repair bots could come in handy later, but I think we'll get more for just selling those because there's better repair bots, and he's got some ionized gas, so yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and head over here and garage him, check out his weapon. That's a nice valuable ship, isn't it? And there you go. As you can see, Plasmatic does 140 damage per hit every second, and we have 3 turret slots in our ship right now, so that's 330 damage a second for the most part, if every shot hits. That's a lot of damage. And you might think, well, it's only every second, but sometimes it can spike. You can get critical hits in this, which can really smash the opponent's health. And that's just a plasmatic one. So we're going to go ahead, transfer command back over here, sell this Shanghai. Remember to buy troopers this time. And A new assassination mission, and one we want to take. Now, if you're going for a negative rep run, obviously this would be not ideal because I'm taking missions that will gain rep. If you want to be a negative rep person, you'd want to take missions that would lose reputation for you, make you a pirate. But I recommend saving that sort of gameplay for late game instead of early game, because early game, the hostile factions have higher level zones, which means the enemy ships that you find there will be higher level, and a level 1 piloting around a level 50 area, not the best idea. Definitely not the best idea. But once you get into like the, 40s, 50s, you can feel free to just abandon your goodly ways and pirate to your heart's content, steal whatever ship fancies you and be on with it. Now, I guess I should explain one thing. You can see right there's a T-gate, and on the map it's represented by a very, very large white dot. And derelicts, loot, anomalies, those are represented by small white dots on the map. Just like that right there might be a station? No, but it is an object. Objects appear as larger dots than ships. Ships are always small, objects are always large. And I want to say that stations are larger yet, but I'll admit I can be wrong on that. Okay, I think we've come to our location. That's an ISIS. And I don't mean a certain group that we all know of in the Middle East. That's a very valuable weapon. Very powerful weapon, too. It is the most powerful of the normal well, actually of any of the normal weapons in the game. It's not just the most powerful plasma weapon, it is by far the most powerful weapon. Outside of these special weapons you can get in other ways. Well, as you can see, our raiders actually discharged some loot for us. Some hollow games and squib tentacles. There's a joke there, but I'm not gonna make it. I'll leave that up to you guys. I'll leave the jokes to you. The low-hanging fruit, ladies and gentlemen. We have found it. So, I want to do a sector change, so I'm going to actually come all the way up here to Vigo to sell the sky, or a region change rather. And the inherent benefit in doing a sector change, or a region change, I'm so sorry, is that it will generate more missions than simply landing at a station. When you land at a station, there is a chance for it to spawn a new mission. I think the game tries to keep a certain number of missions up. And like right now you can see there's only one mission. So if I land at a station within this region, the last few times it spawned one new mission. But when you change regions, it forces the game to spawn the minimum required number for that region, and they can spawn anywhere, not just in the region you're in, but anywhere within a certain sector distance. Wow, that got way more complicated than I thought really fast. Also earlier you probably noticed I used this mode here. This is a control, or a target chase camera, they call it. I call it the alot camera. But it lets you keep your enemy in the middle of the screen, and it's perfect for beam weapons because your enemy will stay right where you want them to be. And it can be useful for other weapons as well. It's not assigned by default, you'll have to assign that key yourself, and I think I covered this in the first tutorial, but, or not tutorial, but first getting started. As soon as you start playing, excuse me, I'm so sorry about that. As soon as you start playing, go to controls, look through them, see what does what, look for anything that's not bound, and bind it to something. Like the tactical overlay is not bound by default. I bind it to B, which was taken by another key that I reassigned to something else. And there's target lock, which I don't know if that has a default binding. Or not target lock, but a mark target. But yeah, there's a lot of things that don't have a default binding because they were added late in the development process. So you'll definitely want to go through here, set things how you like them, find the unbound keys, set those, and just make the game as comfortable as possible for yourself. That's probably the most important thing about playing. And do not overlook the general settings where you get your difficulty, which you can change as you play. So if you're finding normal too easy, you can up the difficulty. If you're finding whatever difficulty you chose too hard, you can lower it. And the next time you start the game, it will automatically switch to that difficulty. I don't know if it'll switch to it on the fly, but it will switch over the difficulty. And this right here, always show quick target scan. I say always have that on. That little info that comes up next to the target, that's what that is a quick target scan. And if you don't have this turned on, it disappears after about 5 seconds. If you turn this on, that info stays up all the time, letting you see which shields you've weakened on the enemy ship, letting you see basically a lot of valuable information. So always have that on. And of course, if you want to be able to run into things, physics gotta be turned on. I mean, come on now. Active pause. This will, if you open up any menu, just pause the game so that you don't have to worry about something happening while you're distributing skill points, perk points, looking at a map, or anything like that. It'll just pause the game while you're doing anything. Run game in background is a debatable thing. You can do it or not. If you like leaving the game running as you're going to do something, like Alt-Tab and look at the internet or something, and you're on a long run, then that's a good thing to keep on. Tutorials, again, personal preference. If you like reading tutorials, leave them on so that you can read them. Just know that there is an achievement tied to these tutorials, and as I've shown you, achievements get you some nice bonuses. Really nice bonuses. So, and even if you do disable the tutorial, you can still read the entire tutorial through this little guy up here, this little question mark button. You click on that, a new window will pop up, and alright, I want to show you this guy's weapon, the ISIS 3. Oh, it's not necessarily a 3, but the ISIS. 100 damage every 0.6 seconds. That is a monster plasma weapon. We're talking almost as much damage as a plasmatic, faster than a plasmatic. The energy cost is outrageously high, but late game, that's not going to matter. So late game, when money's no longer an issue, and you don't want to do the method of gameplay I'm setting up, and you want to just wreck enemies with plasma weapons, you can't get your hands on, say, the Axis, this is definitely your next best bet. Is an ISIS 3. These guys will shred anything. And best of all, you can get them for free from any Directorate or Empire ship. So once you reach the point that you can capture frigates, I think, you can head to the guard space and Directorate ships will come in there. The guard will not fight those ships. They are allied with the Directorate. So you have free run of capturing those ships and just turning them in. You can just stand at the station and do it over and over and over again because it's just a bunch of trader ships that will come in. Just note that the occasional insider cruiser will come along too. So it's a bit of a risky business, but you can always get away if you need to. And we're coming to the end of this one, so I will just go over one more thing. Let me just, before I do something stupid, transfer back over to my normal ship and sell this guy. Get my troopers back. And you know, we're gonna hire, or no wait, we're using beam weapons right now, so we don't want that guy. That guy's no good for us. But I've mentioned before about the bounties, these guys here. They're all piloting either cruisers or just really big ships that are going to hurt a lot. They are programmed to be stronger. Their weapons hurt more. They have better accuracy. You might not want to mess with these guys. In which case, if you get one that's tracking you, it's good to remember, just go a few sectors away from them. They never go as fast as you, so just hit power to engines and just GTFO for a little while, hunt around another area of space, and just give them some time, they'll move along. In fact, if you get 2 sectors away from them, they'll go on whatever merry course they already have plotted. And you can give them maybe a minute, maybe 2, and they'll be out of your hair. A lot of people start to get this paranoid feeling that these guys are hunting them. But what is actually happening is, if they get a lock on you, they're going to keep chasing you as long as they can see you, or they have an idea of where you've gone. Once you get far enough away, they will forget about you and then go back on their predetermined course. There is a chance you'll run away in the direction they're already going, so they'll find you again. If that happens, go in the opposite direction and you know for sure that you're going the opposite way they were going. And you'll no longer have the issue of them, you know, hunting you. Because these guys literally have an algorithm that just says go so far this way, turn, go so far this way, turn, so on and so forth. It's semi-random, but they will never actually actively hunt you if they can't find you. But if they see you, they're programmed to make your life a living hell. These guys are supposed to be ruthless killers, and you're just a nice little target there, ready to be destroyed. So, I'm going to go ahead and call this video here, do some leveling off video, and show you what I got. That way, when we get back to it, you'll have an idea of where I'm going with this build, what we're going to do, and I can get you started on your way to level 5 to 10. Get us a Corvette. Like I said, the one sold to my Santa. You'll see the ship when I start up the next video. I want to say it's the Wolverine, but I can't remember. I know, I'm bad. My memory's bad. But hopefully that will set things up, and we'll be good to go to continue the series. Shouldn't take me too long to level. The first 25 or so levels go pretty quickly, so I could probably extend this video even further, or this series further, but I really want to try and keep it nice, short, and concise to just to help people out. I know people don't like really long, hour-long videos that span, you know, like 50 episode series, because that that can be a headache to watch, especially if you're just looking for specific information. But if I get enough requests, I will do a full Let's Play where you get to see everything I do. In those cases, it'll be much less informal talking that I do. I might even stream the Let's Plays as I do them. Have some fun with chat if anyone stops on by. No guarantees on that. It doesn't show, but I do suffer from some pretty severe social phobias. Being around people is really hard on me. But, yeah, if people want, I can do a full Let's Play where nothing is cut out, and I'll just have a nice informal chat, talk about, I don't know, my life, things I do, maybe mods I'm working on, the community, things like that. So just let me know what you guys think. Hope you enjoyed this video. Ran a bit long, about 42 minutes. Sorry about that. But now you got the nice basic understanding of how things go. As always, if you want to leave a comment, feel free to leave one below. You can reach me on the Steam forums. I am Ryo-chan, the SPG2 engineer. And with that, talk to y'all later. Have a good one.